Okay, today we're talking more on the Eye of Horus, mainly because I only looked at it 2 days ago, and so I blurted out basically everything that dove into my mind, because anytime I look at something, everything tells me how it's made and what it's about, because it's double helix energy flow, and this is a message from the Egyptians about electricity and electromagnetism, power, the life force of the universe. So we're going to take another look, and I'm going to point out another few things, but first off, I'm going to have to turn the picture sideways. Okay, so I'm going to try and explain this slowly because everything's shouting at me about what's going on in the picture, so bear with me, I might jump back to a few things. Okay, so I've said that energy travel goes from an electrical vortex to a perpendicular horizontal waveform, then back to a electrical vortex. And I've said that there's always one double beam, and then going around the main beam in the middle, you have a dielectric circuit of 2 snakes. Now, they're not actually 2 snakes, and it is a bit of like human anatomy thrown in. We have a mouth and a brain, and we have a reproductive system and a fecal ejection system. One is a point of energy and one is a hole, your mouth and your brain. The other end, one is a hole and a point of energy, your reproductive system and your fecal ejection hole. So, now that I've just said that, you have 2 points of energy going in 2 directions, but one is a hole and one is a point. I mean, looking at the picture, you might be able to see it already, but now I can go through it. Okay, so we have the waveform at the bottom, which is the falcon, the peregrine falcon, or the eagle. I was told it was the falcon the other day. So that is the waveform. Then it's showing you what is in between and going on between waveforms and electricity. So I've said that there's a main beam of energy. If we look at the eyebrow, you will see that that is the green color coded. I'm starting to believe that it's a double helix. As you can see, both lines point left and right. So I'm going to say that that is a double helix, which is the eyebrow. Then we move into the eye, and we have the double helix at the bottom, which is where the waveform twists back together and then becomes again 2 separate leaders. And as you can see, one has a round tip and one has a pointed tip, and they're not quite facing in the right direction. They are actually traveling clockwise, and the right hand one, the pointy end, is moving underneath the rounded end one, which is actually a vortex. So one is a pointed vortex and one is an open vortex, which is how they interlink their waves. Then we've got the blue piece that goes underneath the eye. That again is showing the ouroborus of the whole field of vortex, double helix vortex to a wave and then back to a vortex, which is what it's showing there as it goes around the eye. And then also again, you've got 2 rotations, as if we were perhaps looking at a magnet. You've got the left hand rotation and you have the right hand rotation. And going back to the eyepiece, it looks like the piece going into the eye, that is the double helix, and then it splits. So again, we're looking at green in these pictures, as that is where the double helix mixes. I mentioned it on my video the other day. I said the line at the side there with the green color in the middle, I said this may well be the crossover point where the vortices pass through each other. So I'm going to say that's confirmed by this piece on the eye being a double helix and this being a double helix, and these 2 being the dielectric circuit with different rotations. And then of course you've got your 2 separate rotations showing on the top. So it's saying that there's one on either side of a magnet, and that the left hand side would spin counterclockwise and the right hand side would spin clockwise. And then obviously if you reverse this picture and stuck them together, like one overlaid over the other but as a mirror image, you would see a vortex going up, an ouroborus line either side, and 4 spirals, which again is all energy flow. Some people might think that's magnetism, but it's not. I proved the other day magnetism doesn't exist by showing the same pinecone pattern in water, and flowing water is not a magnetic field, so magnetic fields don't exist. It is merely a pinch point focus of energy flow, and that is to do with the matter. The matter is shuttling in and out energy. Also right here I'm going to interject that the pine cone is the eye, which then also again states there is the inner eye, which is the pineal gland, which is a pine cone shape. So yes, the electricity goes around the pineal gland, same as it is there. So there we go. There's some more electromagnetic truths about the eye of Horus, based upon exactly how it's composed and what it's looking like, which is a magnet, or a magnetic field, which is actually just energy flow. Vortex to ouroborus and back to vortex. All double helix energy flow. So, look at what I've done with the Eye of Horus in 2 days. In fact, I only looked at it for about 5 minutes. The reason is everything shouts at me how it's made, and so I sometimes deliberately don't look at things because the information overload of the spirit telling me how everything is made is overwhelming. So yeah, understand that the things that I say, that the spirit leads me into all things and everything is plain and simple to me, is from God, and he showed it to me in visions. He opened up the small scroll inside my head, and if you go and have a listen to my testimony video, you'll understand what that means. But I contain the small scroll, and I've been reading it out for 2.5 years now, which means I've explained how the whole universe is made. So, look at what I've just done with the Eye of Horus. Think about what I've said, that none of this is mine. God gave it me, and now the Spirit leads me into all things, and I've only got a glance at something, and I know exactly how it works. So, please, repent, because God is real. God is energy, electricity and electromagnetism, which is why you can live forever. And he's coming back. Yeah, that's about it really. Thanks very much. My name is Lee, and I'm a Christian.